November 19th, 2007. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 37.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
So, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and with me I have John, Brian, and Steve.
That was a weird kind of order that you did. You went like across the table from you, and then to your right, and then to your left.
Well, I tried
like
to
you're
change
blessing us.
No, it was the Fantastic Four.
I don't know about you. You better
Which
be
one
the
of
flaming one.
You better be the chick.
Yeah, that was backwards. Okay.
What numbering system are you using?
Fantastic Four numbering system.
Ah.
One of us has to be the chick, and it's not me.
Okay.
Not it.
Okay. So let's go to our...
She's invisible like all women should be. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. No, she's behind Brian in the kitchen.
Barefoot and pregnant. All right.
I didn't do it. Not it.
Hey, at least she's invisible. You won't know if she has sharp knees or not.
Not it.
All right. So our first gaming news, Populous coming out for the Nintendo DS. This might interest John?
Not it.
Think it might be popular?
Is it going to be a new Populous?
Or is it just going to be the old Populous that I played in 1991?
On the Amiga 500?
Yeah.
Did you really play it on the Amiga?
No, I played on the on a 83, 86.
I played on a Tandy 1000.
Wow.
No, maybe it wasn't. It might have been an 82, 86.
I heard stories around the campfire.
Remember the days of 5 1/4?
Actually, it was a pretty cool one for the time. I mean, it was even playable in EGA.
How many 5
was even
1/4
better
discs
with the
did you
Tandy
break?
palette.
Too many.
I think I only ever bent like one disc. They were so floppy, they were really hard to bend.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if they were doing a new version, but the last one they did,
Thank you.
Populous 3, was really quite good and required more demanding 3D than the DS could pull off. So,
Which is kind of sad. Because, I mean, come on, seriously.
that's like a
What the
decade
hell?
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the screenshots I saw looked like plain old Populous from like 10 years ago.
Not interested.
Yeah.
So, like, isometric and little sprite dudes walk around. Did you curse them for not going into the goddamn building already?
Yes.
From what it looked,
I just waited until everybody screwed everybody else, and then I declared Armageddon.
yeah.
So.
Did everybody else always have to, like, pop the land up to make the building go down until they
Yeah.
finally all walked into the one castle?
Yeah. That game took forever and a day.
It was. Yeah. I mean, it was good for the time. 20 years ago.
Hopefully they might add tweaks to the game. Who knows?
Or maybe they'll just keep selling us the same old games over and over again.
What?
Okay.
Nintendo doesn't do that. Oh wait.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So
That sounds familiar.
So next up, we have DVD video playback function for the Wii postponed until 2008. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is, do we really need another DVD
do
player?
such a thing?
Well,
Well, if it's your only game system, that's the crowd you're hitting right there. But
Okay, you can.
If the Wii is your only game system, chances are you got it from the two Japanese dudes who showed up at your house, and you had a DVD player already.
we want to play and watch movies.
Yeah.
well, I'd like to know, though, I mean, how hard can it be to add that in at this point? I mean, it's got to be like, what, $5 in licensing fees, and they're done?
You know what's really funny is it's just like Nintendo to be about 5 years behind the curve.
They're
because they're
licensing
not
power
going for
DVD.
HD or Blu-ray. They're just now adding a DVD player.
Wow.
They don't want to split hairs. We'll just go with the old favorite.
Well, when
Does it
when
play
uh,
CDs, too?
Hey now, that's just way ahead of them.
when what's his name said that it was there was too short of time between game systems. He's just getting around to PlayStation 2.
Wait. They have games on CD now?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
What the hell is this GD-ROM you speak of?
Yeah, we don't have to actually make our own custom little discs anymore.
Yeah. So
Cartridges will never die. I don't know.
You don't have to
Nintendo's
blow
gonna be about
on the CD so much.
and if you're blowing on a CD, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, you can do it after you want. Anyway.
Yeah.
Blow a seal.
So next up, U.S. version of Gran Turismo 5 Prologue will be released 2008 first quarter. This interests Brian.
Yeah, baby.
So this,
Now all you need is a
like
PlayStation
the backstory
3.
for Gran Turismo,
Yeah.
or what's the deal?
Crap.
Isn't this just like a demo?
Yeah, the prologue's always like a taste, and they give you a certain amount of cars and 1 or 2 tracks to race on, and you get a feel for what it's going to look like and how it's going to play.
Drive cars in a circle?
No, they give you different tracks. I mean,
They give you they give you different circles.
They give you 2 or 3 tracks.
This is one of those games that I agree with the Penny Arcade guys. I always look at it and feel like I should want to play it or I should like it, but I play it and I never quite get it.
You just got to enjoy driving. I mean, that's all it is. That's the
know.
hardcore driving crowd.
I guess.
But it looks so
I'm not
good when you play it.
hardcore enough. I don't.
I can
And
like
not just that,
Forza.
but you get to try all those different cars. I mean, that's basically what is the game for. I mean, that's the purpose for me is I get to actually drive all these different cars I'd never really sit in or have any reason to go out and drive on my own.
I can like Forza, but I could never get behind Gran Turismo. The total lack of any damage to the cars and the AI being just rock retarded.
Well, like I
ruins
said,
it
you
for
go to
me.
drive the cars. It's not really about racing as much.
I don't know.
In fact,
No.
some dealers in Japan, because their cars are on here and licensed through that, will actually allow you to play the game at the dealership so you can see how the cars are and what they feel like. And they'll do it at conventions and stuff with
Yeah,
just their
except if
cars.
you wreck those cars in real life, then you have a slight problem. But yeah, I never got into the Gran Turismo series either. It just I don't know.
I've always liked it. I just could only play so far in it, and then I got burned out at some point. But I'd get halfway or 3/4 of the way through the game, and then I'd be done because there's just so much to the game. It really, it's too much to do.
Did you ever buy a wheel?
No, I've never found a wheel that had accurate enough force feedback. I mean, literally accurate, where you went off one side of the road and you felt it, and you didn't overcorrect by ripping it left, to get back on the road and then go across the other side. That was my issue a long time ago, is you couldn't get a feel like you would in a real car to be able to detect where the road was and, account for it.
So you just spent all your time.
degree $200 Logitech one that everybody seems to like.
I never tried that one. That's probably the only one I didn't try, but I was getting kind of burned out on it at that point. It was like, well...
You need to spend all your time in the arcade playing Cruisin' USA. That is far back there.
At this point, I just go buy the arcade. It's like, screw it.
The arcade's about the same price. It's about $200.
Yeah. It's got a monster cabinet.
I bet you
though.
I could find one for under $1,000 easy.
Well, it's just the cabinet's huge. I mean, it's a huge sit-down
the
cabinet
full
for
sit-down? Yeah. That
It's
thing is
gigantic.
monstrous.
I don't know where you couldn't even get that in a door. I think
I
you
had
have
the
to take it
same
apart
issue
and put
with
it in.
I was going to buy a sit-down Star Wars a while back, and I couldn't do it because I just couldn't get the thing in my
Like
my
the
broom.
original ray traced sit-down Star Wars.
Yeah.
I didn't know such things existed. I only ever
There
saw the
was a
stand-ups.
sit-down version. There were so few of them made, though. I was privy to actually see one and sit down, and I would have had to do a little rebuilding. But
body.
the stand-up was much more space efficient. Trust me.
We failed to mention that this particular podcast is brought to you by Booze.
Oh yeah, we are sharing
sir.
mojitos and wheat proper ale.
Wheat
proper. Thank you, Brock and Raj.
That's oh yes, this is the proper term.
You have to
Place
drink
of
it with
our-
your pinky out.
proper beer here.
Place of our regular mint julep is mint mojito.
Very droll.
We sound like boardroom members.
Yes,
I vote for more mojito next podcast.
Do I second?
That's
Yeah.
a pretty good whatever that is.
I don't know what it is, but
Let's do it again.
number
I say we
4.
tackle Mount Everest next week.
I say we tackle number 4.
All right, then. Yeah, cheerio.
Cheerio, tally-ho, and knickers and all that.
Robblegock.
Robblegock.
They just dig through words and throw them together.
Robblegock.
Rubblegock.
That sounds like
Bubblecock and
that sounds like where the train will stop in England.
Something to do with the Queen or something.
Yeah.
All right.
I won't take any of this Robblegock.
Rubble. All right.
next up.
Number 4 before we throw you out on your...
tuck us.
Wii Guitar Hero 3 outputs only mono sound.
Oh, well, good, because
Sweet.
really I care about it being in stereo.
I thought I was really bored one year playing a video game, and then I realized I was just stuck in mono.
Huh?
No.
I mean, who notices this
Yeah, right.
crap?
It's not funnier in my head, but
Usually does.
output's only in mono. You go to all this fucking trouble and you output it in mono.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who notices this thing?
Somebody
mean,
trying to play it in stereo.
It's not like there's stereo. It's not like there's. Well, yeah, but if you plug it in,
Dude, a true rocker has a sound system, man.
a true rocker has a sound guy, but we don't got one of those. So
I think they're one of the
They
same.
they have some guy come by, go to your Wii, go sibling.
they got some
sibling.
overweight guy with long hair. You got to pay $20 in order to get stereo.
I think the reason this came up was because when you're playing in like co-op or versus, your sound only came out of the side you were on, except on the Wii where it just mixed everything into one mono track.
Wow.
Okay.
Imagine
okay.
me not caring still.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I think the 360 and PS3 version had surround sound, so it's kind of a
Kind
few
of a
steps
downgrade,
down.
Yeah.
Well, like you're still. I don't know.
Shut up and accept it.
You click, you pluck a string, it doesn't show up on a different channel. You know.
It's also a bug because they're trying to patch it. It was supposed to do better than that, but apparently they changed something at the last minute and fucked it up.
Nah. Gee, they fuck up something.
Why would they need to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 5.
All right. So next up, Capcom making Street Fighter 2 HD easier to play. This will probably interest people who suck at 2D fighting games.
Pissed off us hardcore players.
All right. Now listen up.
You know how long I had to practice to get that uppercut?
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
but
know.
if you want to play that version, you already own that version like 5 times over.
But I want to play my mind.
Well, fortunately, they still let you play that
That's
version.
okay. I still haven't got a joystick
Yeah,
for
so
360 yet
in-
anyways.
in-
Wow, is this any sort of issue at all except for completists?
No, they're just trying to catch the rest of the crowd that never really got into it or
Yeah,
just
so,
couldn't
I mean,
master
well,
the
if they
moves,
haven't played
so.
Street Fighter people, hardcore players just don't have to get this version. I mean, that's the answer.
Well,
You'll still
it
get it. It'll
supports
just
the
be
original
there's more
version
people
too.
playing it.
Yeah, it supports the original version. It's just, they had to design the game for potential players because they can't do dragon punches or flying kicks. It's like,
Oh, boo-hoo.
if you're not willing to pay the fee, why are you playing the game?
Yes.
Because this is really going to change the game dramatically.
And not like there's any casual people going, I've been playing, all these classic games all this time. I think I'll jump into Street Fighter now. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So next up, Alone in the Dark confirmed for Wii and PS2. More old crap that you can buy over again.
I'd like to point out this is actually number 7 now.
Which
skipped
Does
number
this mean
5.
that I'm going to be
number
alone in the
6.
dark with my Wii?
So
Yes.
is this like a redo?
How is
or
this any
just
different?
a port of the original Alone in the Dark?
It does
or-
look like a redo. It'll actually have better graphics than the original.
Wow.
They were good back in the day.
Well, okay, how long ago was
back
that?
in the day was way long
15
ago.
years
Yeah.
or so.
Something like that.
There have been some
It had
graphical.
polygons.
I remember selling it at
Okay,
EB
it
in
had
95.
3 polygons.
What's
Yes, you are
impressive is that
correct.
the Wii is actually going to make it look better.
So did you play Alone in the Dark, Steve?
Oh, so many years ago.
I think everybody did, man.
I didn't,
I played it on the Genesis.
but it wasn't
I
available
remember.
for the Amiga. I don't remember if it was or not. So,
That one got ported around a fair bit.
It did.
moving on, Atari CEO quits and company ceases game production.
Well,
Yeah,
that
I don't
doesn't
know
matter
why-
because
Bankruptcy looms.
Atari proper ceased game
Yeah.
production about 25 years ago. So,
Yeah, why even calling this thing a Atari?
yeah.
They're more just a publisher now.
Well, have they published anything lately?
Let's see, Atari.
They put their name on some stuff, yeah.
Every once in a
Yeah.
while you see it.
Mm.
I
Yeah, they'll
can't
put their
think of
name
it
on
offhand.
stuff like, this Chapter 11 bankruptcy form.
That
Yeah,
too.
Something like that.
Next up, and this will interest John mostly,
Eh?
R-Type Tactics coming stateside. It is a rumor. It will be rebranded as R-Type Command, and Atlas is looking to bring it over. Not that the game will be any easier in English.
Why would they need to
Actually just as
Why would they need to
excited,
rebrand
really?
that? It's not like it's called like R-Type Super Sparkle Command something or other. I mean,
You don't know what the kanji translates as.
it says R-Type Tactics. Just call it R-Type Tactics.
Maybe I.
Worked for
You got
Final
me.
Fantasy. Sold some copies.
Maybe they don't want to be confused with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's
Because
because
people are
that's
going to
something
see
you
the
want to do.
R-Type and the spaceship on the front, and they're
Yeah.
going to start thinking, androgynous fags with swords.
Well, considering Final Fantasy sales figures, is that a problem to be confused with Final Fantasy?
That's true. So,
It's like I got confused with, I don't know, Gene Simmons. Oh no,
what?
exactly. Exactly.
In related news, Gene Simmons still scary.
In a related news, Gene Simmons tells college kids to get off his lawn.
Yeah, that was awesome. So R-Type Tactics, very relevant to both John and Brian.
I was going to buy the import. I just didn't want to go through the translation, but it looked like a lot of
There's
fun.
Japanese people that don't want to go through the translation.
And they just don't make many turn-based games these days, so, it's not a hard
Well,
thing to buy.
they do, but they're all
PS3 or
Civil
with
War
schmucks.
recreations.
They are, but they're all easy. We just needed, one ungodly hard strategy game, and IREM came in.
Yeah,
It's like,
because they make all those turn-based strategy games to be like a walk in the park.
The Civil War,
somebody does not
there's
play
the Civil
turn-based
War
strategy
genre and the
games.
Revolutionary War genre. I really don't know what more you need in turn-based strategy.
you got to pack the powder down anyway, so you got to wait your turn anyway. So
Advance Wars is probably the console marker for the genre, which could actually be harder.
yeah. So next up, GameTap reaches 1,000 games. My comment was an emulator you get to pay for, sweet, but then I was corrected by John that it does not only have emulated games, it actually has original titles,
Yeah.
or at least remakes of old titles.
Not necessarily remakes,
rehashing
but it
some.
has like PC games, and Codemasters has actually been putting a fair chunk of their game library on there. Overlord, for instance, was available on launch, if you remember, of GameTap.
I vaguely remember the launch of GameTap. I just saw it one day and I'm like, oh.
on launch
there's
for Overlord, new game released this year. On launch day for Overlord, you could get it through GameTap.
Oh, okay.
So they've been putting some good stuff out on there. The subscription fee is minimal. If you want to get a game subscription, it's a really good deal.
Or you could play MAME.
I haven't thought about Game Tap, but I'm considering Game Fly.
The closest,
Just don't leave it open. Somebody grab it.
GameFly gives you, discs.
Yeah.
GameTap, you download everything.
Just flat out download, yeah. If I could download it all, I'd
No,
be
you need
for
to.
it,
You just want to, rent games and get those easy achievement points. You want to play the Avatar and get 1,000 achievement
saw that.
points in like a minute.
but that was ridiculous. Talk about somebody cheesing out, man.
Yeah. Tap the A button, you get 150 achievement points.
Lead your enemies down there and just keep firing wind at them. Achievement unlocked. Achievement unlocked.
They didn't make it very hard. Yeah.
It took 30 seconds, and the guy had 1,000
20,
points.
I think. Yeah.
So now you can. So now GameSpot has to now redo that article how to get 6,000 gamer points easily and add another 1,000 to it.
Yeah, how to get
Yeah.
7,000 easily.
It must really suck for people that care about gamer points.
Yeah. So next up, light gun game madness for the Wii. With the Wii Zapper that comes with Link's crossbow training, which comes out tomorrow, I might add. Brian?
It looked cool, actually, and everybody that's played it seems to have enjoyed it. So.
Sega's Ghost Squad and House of the Dead 2 and 3 are coming out.
It's just so
All
sad
of them,
to see Sega making games for Nintendo.
all of them have bad voice acting.
But
Wow.
what do you
Well, it
mean?
hurts- it
It's
hurts
just
my
so
soul.
sad watching Sega make games anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, just the name, Sega for a Nintendo system, it hurts my soul.
Hey, at least they're still around.
Not really. They're kind of around the same way Atari's still around.
Except they're making money.
I don't know how.
Arcade.
It's just sad.
Pachinko machines.
Yeah.
No, that's SNK.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, SNK is on one of those too.
so I heard the voice acting for Ghost Squad, so you'll be very amused by it, Brian.
Yeah, I expect no less in my light gun games.
Yeah.
So are they pricing this any cheaper, or is it still like $50 for 2 hours of gameplay?
I have no idea. I don't know what the price point on these are. So, next up, Microsoft announces a old Xbox game download via Xbox Live Marketplace. So, what it is that they announced an original service which will allow users to download original Xbox games and play them on the 360, and apparently it is full of bugs
Hey, is Burnout 3 on the compatibility list for 360?
Burnout 3?
Yeah.
They finally did come out with that
I was just
after a
wondering that.
while.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you guys should do this because this is one of your best games for the system.
It was after Burnout Revenge had been out for, I think, like a year or so. They finally went back
they want to
and
pull away
let you
from
play
their
Burnout
new
3.
game.
I was gonna say if they haven't and they actually have that on live, that'd be worth getting that.
So there's a list of about 7 games that will be available December 4th. They'll each cost 1,200 Microsoft points, and if you convert that into
$1,200.
into actual money, it's $1,200. Steve.
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh my god!
Considering the dollar depreciation lately.
On the other hand, they
Is
also
that
picked
Canadian?
games that are so popular you can find them in your local bargain bin for $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting choice, but basically it seems like they just wanted to offer the same play PS2 games on your PS3 that Sony decided to try and monetize their backwards compatibility with.
Don't sell your discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you even care about your old systems. If you don't care about your old systems, don't bother. Anyway, what do we got next here?
Our first, we're at the topics now, and our first topic, what are we playing lately? And this was recommended by John, so you can blame him if this goes nowhere.
I blame
It
you.
will.
It's like the eternal topic, though. What are we playing lately?
Okay, well, who we just start with, like,
No, we
someone
have to
and
go in order. Raise your hand, Murdock.
Let's go in alphabetical order based off.
Kmart sucks. Definitely sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm assuming I'm starting with this.
I don't know.
Who cares?
All right, I'll
Murdoch
start.
doesn't come first in the alphabetical order.
Okay, well then it's
Or
Brian.
last.
Ow!
All right, Brian.
Nobody cares.
So what are you playing, Brad?
Oh, let's see. What am I not playing?
That
Let's
blonde
see.
down the street.
Just playing Wild Hearts.
Hi-yo! She's my weekend thing.
Dum, 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 dum.
I'm playing Super Mario Galaxy, which I just picked up, finally.
Have you been doing the co-op for that at all, or just going through on your
Just
own?
the regular. Yeah, I just started getting the physics down and understanding 3D and running around small asteroids and whatnot. And I finally started Castlevania on the PSP, so I get a little Rondo of Blood in, and I'm still trying to catch that damn Neptuna on Phantom Hourglass with Zelda for the DS. I won't finish the game until I catch that fish.
Is that like the biggest fish around or something?
Supposed to look like a whale, apparently, but I've never seen one. At least on the little mini-map, but...
So how much time have you spent fake fishing on your DS?
Oh, let's just say it's in the hours. But I have found a few more treasure chests, so hey, that's,
Blizzard's
something
looking for
worth it.
people like you.
Yeah. Oh, I think they've got enough of them, thank you. And I'm playing Heroes of Might and Magic 5 still with a friend of mine online because I'm just totally enjoying that game. So, plenty of stuff to play, man.
You keep them busy even without all the big releases this week.
Oh, I'm really not going to try to buy that much this Christmas. I know there's a lot of stuff out, but I've bought so much in PC lately that I just, it's kind of offset all my
There's
console
so much
costs.
crap coming out. I mean, there's so much stuff coming out.
It really is
this-
a busy season, and I'm
This
going to be
is-
buying
even
Rock
for-
Band tomorrow, so it's like...
Even for, Christmas season, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that you're like, wow, I'd really like to play that game.
Yeah. But, yeah, and Rock Band's going to keep you busy this weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah, if that comes through.
Apparently, the major problem with Rock Band is finding enough space.
Is
play
this
it.
going to work? You're going to slice your hand, right off. Dude, that totally bad plan.
Chris
Yeah.
attempts to open a beer bottle.
Give it to John so that he can open the beer bottle. Let somebody with manual let somebody with manual dexterity do it.
Stop staring at me. It's not my fault. I'm
I always find it entertaining when people try and use this thing because it's a little different. And
You kind of got to.
there you go.
Leverage. It wins out always.
Good plan.
Whose idea was it for
No bleeding.
how?
It's like that.
Bad.
It's like that XKCD thing where it's like, do you have a long lever and an immovable spot? Because I'd like to rock your world. Philosopher pickup lines.
So, whose idea was it for beer for the podcast?
It was the best
Tonight's
idea.
sponsor was brought to you by John. Beer provider.
So any more games you're playing, Brian? Was that the list?
Oh,
How many can you play at once?
Is that all? Jeez.
Lose all your gamer cred. Only playing like 4 games at once.
Yeah. Oh, I played something on my 360 the other day. I think it was an Xbox Live Arcade game, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was a demo for something. I had so many demos. I got that auto demo thing set, so stuff just keeps.
Got a ton of them.
My 20 gig hard drive is full. That's how bad it is.
You should turn that off.
I was just playing free Carcassonne this weekend, and I was pretty nifty to get to play it.
Yeah,
it's a great
really,
game.
works
I thought they did a
well.
good job on there for what it is. I mean, I still enjoy playing it on there, even though it's not the full board game experience. It's
Well,
still
yeah,
a
but
lot
you
of
can
fun.
buy the add-ons. But the thing is, it's free.
What I want to know, and if there's any viewers out there that know it, please tell me if the Hori PS2 flight sticks for Ace Combat 5 work with Ace Combat 6 on the 360.
Keegan will have an answer for you tomorrow.
My God, I need to know because I don't want to go buy another set of freaking flight sticks. It's so freaking expensive the first time around. There's USB. It's got to freaking work.
Didn't we get those off that EB sale, though?
Yeah, but it was still $120, man.
It was,
They were $150 new.
They were marked down pretty good. Seemed like a good deal.
All right.
That was a good deal, don't get me wrong, but it was a good deal one time. I don't want to pay that again. I don't care if it is on a different system.
All right.
PS2 means it should be on everything. It
Or
works on the
USB.
PC for crying out loud.
USB.
Or USB, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school.
So, next up in the alphabetical chain is John.
Well, I'm just going to refuse to answer that because I think your alphabetization is retarded.
Also, it's oppressive.
Yes.
Oppressive to what?
I'm
It's-
being held down by the man.
It's an impressive.
You're being held down by the
It's
alphabetic
an
order.
oppressive imposition of
Was just
order
created
that
by
is
the
arbitrary and capricious.
And patriarchal.
Dude, peed on my carpet, dude.
Capricious son, man. Capricious son.
I don't think you understand. He peed on my carpet. Peed on my rug.
All right. So, John, tell us about you playing.
I think he's already refused.
Not allowed. Just go.
This podcast is ruled by the man.
I guess so.
I'm
Well, man, I've been playing Overlord. Which
Did
is,
you
I guess...
download that via GameTap?
No. Actually, I've been playing it on the 360 because
Okay.
I like to game on my couch.
Okay. Now, would this be a game I would like?
I have no idea. Did you like Pikmin?
Yeah.
Then you'd like Overlord.
Hmm.
Same idea, except you're playing an evil Overlord sending around goblins instead of playing a goofy space dude sending around flowers.
Interesting.
I don't think it's evil enough.
I think it's really
It's
charming.
truly evil. You ought to be able to kill anything at any time.
You actually can't. There
That's
isn't
what
an
I'm
NPC in the world you can't kill in that game. Even friendlies. I mean, you go up to them, you kill them, they're dead. You get corruption
I seem to
points
remember
for
there
it.
was some limitation in the demo. Maybe they opened it up since then. But there's things in the demo we couldn't change. It was almost too linear in some senses.
Well, that was also the first hour of gameplay, which is essentially the tutorial.
Okay.
It's actually pretty wide open.
This
It wasn't a
tutorial
tutorial,
was
true.
actually a tutorial, not like the Blue Dragon tutorial that was
Yeah.
hour 75.
Yes, that would be true.
Here's the fire. Here's you. Let's throw you in and see what happens.
Yes.
No, I'm burning.
Oh no, he's burning.
Bloody hell.
Who could have foreseen?
Hey,
I haven't sat down to try it yet,
Steve, I
but
seem to be on fire.
apparently you can even kill the friendly people in your tower. You just go there and you don't beat on them enough, they eventually die. I do think it's pretty entertaining, too, that you can just, this jester runs up to you, starts saying stupid crap, you just kick him in the face, and he stops.
Yeah.
It's great.
Who's laughing now?
More games need this feature.
So, Overlord seems to be taking a majority of your time. Anything else?
I put a couple hours into Oblivion, but Family Meredith's playing that one, so I haven't been getting too much time on it.
Cool.
Picked up the Game of the Year edition, and, I've loved all the Elder Scrolls games, and this one's no different.
Okay. So, next up we have Steve, who is actually playing a game from this year.
Woo, Call of Duty 4.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm playing.
I
And
tried the
Hellgate
demos
loved it.
for both
That too.
PC and 360, and they were pretty, but I just thought the AI was utterly stupid.
Now you're playing Hellgate London.
And I'm not talking about the enemy AI, I'm talking about my own guys.
His friendly AI is actually pretty good.
They don't follow you as much. They don't do things around you. They have their own set pattern. And what really ticked me off, it's probably my biggest complaint, is they cut out the co-op for lack of time. They wanted to get this game out within a certain time.
No single-player co-op at all?
They actually went back and pulled the co-op out because they couldn't finish it. And I'm like, that was the reason I would have bought the game, was co-op alone.
Wasn't
Because
really
it looks
my deal.
good. But
I'll talk more about it in my little review.
Okay.
But basically, maybe I didn't play the demo. Maybe the AI sucked in the demo. But my guys saved my ass routinely.
Maybe
So.
okay. Maybe it is just the demo, but I was kind of tipped.
I charge into. They tell me to charge into a room, and I go and I start killing a guy, and a guy pops up behind me. They cap him in the head. So I turn around and I'm like,
impressive.
oh, there was a guy there. Whoa, he's fallen. It's bleeding from his head now. So
There was a part in the demo where you had to protect a tank that had been
that's a tough part.
Stuck.
That's a
And
tough part.
I was charging into the enemy territory, taking them out left and right. My guys are all standing behind the tank, going, "Yeah, go, man, go." Yeah, we'll be over here. And I'm like, what the frickin' follow me?
In the game, that's actually pretty tough. You have to actually be at a different part of the. You have to be at a different part of the tank than your guys, because your guys will cover like different points, and you have to cover a point with one of your other guys. Otherwise, you'll get.
Your point is covering any of the bombers running up with dynamite attached to their body.
Well,
that's the point.
Well, there's guys that will loop
trying
around
to avoid
back and try and get you
RPGs from the right side.
Yeah.
And now,
it's pretty though. It looks
like playing Black Hawk Down. There's RPGs everywhere.
Yeah. They're a dime a dozen. You can buy them at 7-Eleven out there.
Yeah, apparently.
So, no, you've been playing Hellgate London too, right?
Yep.
Are you tired of it now, or
nope?
Oh,
totally.
On sale at Circuit City this week too.
If you like Diablo, you'll like this.
Has Emily come over to play yet?
Nope. But you'll like this. I mean, Diablo with automatic weapons and rocket launchers, can't go wrong.
Oh.
Although I came into an interesting little bug. If you bail in the middle of an instance, when you come back, when you log back on, it'll rebuild that instance with a different map.
Huh. Interesting bug.
Well, no, it's supposed to make new maps. The instances are supposed to be unique, so for replayability.
Oh, okay.
But I think they do it because if you bail in the middle of a map or whatever, so you can't just get up to wherever and then come back and go, oh, well, I was blah, 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 blah. And I didn't like that particular thing, and so I'll go back to my buddy instead of trying to truck it back and whatever.
It's kind of a penalty for doing it.
But I went back and it rebuilt me a map where I couldn't get through the whole map. It actually had a cutoff. I actually had to exit that instance again, log out in the instance and come back, so it would rebuild the map so I could actually get to the exit on the other side of the map.
Yay for creative level design.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Or generated. Yeah.
Interesting bug.
Other than that, I mean, I haven't really done any, multiplayer stuff just because, I'm still at the beginning of the game and you don't really need a group to do any of the multiplayer stuff. So they have an interesting. If you get through that part and you sign up for the subscription, it unlocks hardcore mode or something like that, where basically you get one life.
So it's just like in Diablo 2 on hardcore. If you die, your character is just dead. You have to start over again. Like, wow, that doesn't seem like a bonus to me, but all right.
It's the old steel battalion.
Didn't sound like fun in Diablo 2 either. Never chose that option personally.
Yeah.
Especially not when you're playing with other people.
That's truly hardcore. That's like playing as the tofu in Resident Evil 2.
I mean, I could just see some really nasty griefers running around in that mode, because that would be so brutal.
I don't know how much. I don't know much about the PvP in that.
Okay, so that leaves
and Tabula Rasa, which I really haven't played a lot of yet.
Okay.
Did you actually buy the retail release?
I did.
Ah.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of it yet though.
Cool. So I guess I get to go into what I am playing lately.
We could just skip you too.
No good.
I get no respect
honestly,
on this podcast.
Because honestly, I don't.
You've
care.
already broken the alphabet code.
Yeah, you already.
The alphabet code.
You've already broken your own rules, man.
All right.
Didn't you watch the Da Vinci Code?
Or something.
The Da Vinci Code?
The Dinky Code.
Yeah.
The Dink Code.
The Dink. What? Okay.
I was really happy the day I picked up Da Vinci Code in an airport bookstore and read the last 3 pages. It really, satisfied the whole experience there.
Was it worth that for the 3 pages, though? Did you pay like $15?
Oh, no, I just stood there at the bookstore, read the last 3 pages, and went, oh, this is a dumb book.
Okay.
Moved on.
All right,
The Templars went to the 7-Eleven and bought a Slurpee.
It's like the ending for Metal Gear Solid 2. It's just that confusing. But anyway, so what am I playing? I'm playing VIRTUA Fighter 5, Super Mario Galaxy, Contra 4, which is the hardest game ever.
Oh, I gotta go pick that up.
It's really hard. Really, really,
My
brutally difficult.
$25 gift card. Toys R Us.
And I've got a bunch of games that are just in a holding pattern, so that when I clear the games I'm working on, I got these games.
Roger, are we clear to land? Oh, yeah, that's a Roger. Come on down.
Been playing
The weather around Murdock landing zone is very unseasonable. We're going to have to keep you in that holding pattern for a little bit.
Well, there's
Roger,
not
I'm
a lot
on,
of room in the Murdock gaming landing pad.
Scratch that. We're out of fumes.
Been playing Carcassonne because of the free download.
Free's good.
Yeah, and it's an enjoyable game.
We should play some online.
Is there any way? Yeah, we should. Is there any way with Carcassonne to show farmer influence? Because I have a lot of trouble, especially with black, seeing which dudes are laying down.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen a black played against the black color player.
Every time I play, the computers pick black.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't think I've noticed.
I've always had them everything but black.
Huh.
Yeah, I've had every other color.
I've had
I
like
think.
red and yellow and green, but I've never had like black.
Maybe you just got one of those Xboxes.
Maybe your random number generator is just not so good.
Yeah.
Once it goes black, it
Yeah, exactly.
Well, apparently once it goes black, it never goes back.
Seems to be a problem with video games.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing it wrong or not.
Maybe you need to salt your random generator number.
So that's it for what we're playing. Next up, we're going to discuss why I, Murdock, dislike playing video games with other people. Well, not exactly dislike.
You're a pansy. Because you're a pansy.
I'm not a pansy.
You are a pansy.
Okay, explain this to me.
You're a pansy. Because when we pwn you, then you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't really like these games anyway.
I don't do that.
No, that's Roger.
No, Roger's. It's foregone conclusion that Roger's going to be pwned unless he's being a snipey bitch.
That's all the time.
Well, yeah.
But why did you bring up this topic, John?
Well, because you just picked up your Xbox Live Gold that you've only got for a month here, and you really don't seem to like multiplayer games, like, at all.
Now, multiplayer games, are we talking about, like, first-person shooters?
Games that don't involve just you.
Shmups.
Okay, shmups, there's a reason.
Shmups.
Stealing power-ups.
I share power-ups every time they come up.
No, you don't.
I do. Other people that generally sneak them from me.
Would that other person be Murdock?
Shmups.
Totally ganks all your power-ups?
Oh, the true.
I'll literally look at you and I'll
say,
say, go ahead and grab this one. I'll get the next one. We've always done that. I think it's other people you played shmups with.
John.
Yeah.
No,
John,
not John.
John I could see, but...
No, John doesn't play shmups. But I don't like... I don't care for first-person shooters on a console. I can play them on PC. I'm like Brian when it comes to first-person shooters.
That's understandable. Just too limiting.
But one of the big reasons I don't play online is I'm a big believer in John Gabriel's internet fuckwad theory, and I don't want to deal with those people.
Just turn off the volume or don't even put your headset on, man.
Yeah, you don't have to plug it in. You
I
hear a thing they say.
I didn't even take my headset out of the wrapping.
Well, then it's the non-issue.
You just
Irrelevant.
playing against AI that's smarter than average.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I tried playing.
Or if you're not paying attention, you could be playing against AI and think they're other people.
I tried playing some online games on Xbox Live a couple days ago. Didn't work out too well because of Comcast. It's like, we're just going to go ahead and drop your internet connection. I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah, there's been some intermittent
Comcast.
connectivity issues here lately. So,
Yeah, I think it's called because you have Comcast.
I'll.
It is just areas, because I've seen areas that drop before. My area's been pretty solid because it was one of the first installed bases, but
Well, I mean,
I've seen other areas that
every
just
once
had
in a while,
nothing. John's
I have.
had so much problem with his wireless back at his old place. It's not even funny.
Not really a Comcast issue.
Well, it was half, because the half of that turned out to be that the exterior wires that they'd put in, every time the wind blew, it pulled it loose of the exterior jack. And so that took them like a year to figure out before they finally tightened that goddamn thing.
Well,
Comcast!
however,
The other half, however,
Counterpoint.
it's entirely
wireless
possible
network
that wasn't
very
a Comcast employee, but an independent contractor.
Haha! Counterpoint!
entirely possible. They still had Comcast on their truck, and I
Well,
still cursed Comcast.
They were driving a Comcast truck, therefore they had Comcast.
It had a white van and had
It's
Comcast
not
spray
broken.
painted
It's
on it.
Comcastic.
Haha! Checkpoint! Checkmate!
It had spray painted Comcast. I was like, oh yeah, I can trust these guys. These guys have free candy.
Yeah, free candy. You trust this guy? He looks legit.
Yeah. No, I think the only reason we still have Comcast at my new place right now is because they didn't put the filter on the cable line.
I wouldn't go calling them and reminding them.
Yeah, call and complain your Comcast connection. Your
Comcast
cable connection is not so good.
They're not quite the best put together organization because I
no.
had that little discount for having cable and TV.
Right.
They knocked $10 off.
Right.
I had that for a year after I discontinued the cable TV.
Huh.
I didn't say a thing. I was just happy until one day the bill appeared and it was like, they finally caught on. Well, I guess it's okay after a year.
Dude, I had
They
like
saved me $120.
I had Cinemax for like 5 years and I never ordered it.
I did too. In fact, I had Cinemax and Showtime because they didn't come and put the little filter on. Because when I had cable TV originally, then they came and brought cable internet. The guy that did the cable internet didn't put the filter back on for the cable TV.
You just gotta wonder sometimes. I mean,
So they're not all together.
Are manual band filters really the best way to be figuring out if people have premium channels or not?
Okay.
You'd think there'd be a more technical way to figure that sort of thing out.
So once again the top
channels to digital. these days.
Well, now if they could just make all the premium channels in frickin' HD at some point, it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Join
so
the rest of Dish and
how about I get
DirecTV,
more than
would you?
like you can do a little search thing on Comcast to figure out what's an HD program at any given time. It's like at most you've got 8 programs that are in HD, and you're like, this is really stupid.
That's why Dish and Director do it so well because they've got 30+ channels, on a constant. And
Well, I would totally go with Dish if I wasn't in a freaking apartment and I couldn't, point the dish in the right direction, They're like, some people take and they coordinate with their neighbors. My neighbors are never around. I'm fairly certain they're all corporate, traveler dudes that are around once a month.
And so what, you're supposed to coordinate with your neighbors? You could put it on their patio
apparently.
or something?
Apparently, that's the big plan.
That's a great solution.
Yeah, you know what? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That sounds as reliable as calling up Comcast and expecting good service.
Yeah.
Okay, so
trying to get them to make my DVR to work.
Okay, so the topic was not why does Comcast suck. It was why Murdock is an antisocial blah blah blah.
Well, I think that's the reason why. It's because
But
you're
it
an
morphed
antisocial
into
blah
one,
blah
and
blah.
now it's more interesting.
There it is.
Well, you brought up this topic.
We actually really don't care.
Well, you don't care about anything, Steve.
Well, we really don't care about why you don't play games.
Well, I do play games, just not with
other people.
He's got one of
online.
those T-shirts that says doesn't play well with others.
Yes. We really.
So why don't you play Fighters online?
Because, well, one of the big reasons I play Fighters online is because of lag. That is
Have you tried?
Well, especially with Comcast.
Oh yeah, I've tried. It's like, I pulled my Dragon Punch off. Stare at my watch.
That wasn't your experience. That was a penny arcade strip.
No, that was my experience actually.
Apparently, it's more universal than you know.
No, it's pretty bad. It's gotten better, but not good enough.
Fighting games are one of those things you just cannot play online because that kind of lag kills you. That's stuff that's got to be seen instantaneously.
Yeah, anything that has specific timing, real hard to do online.
The best fighting game I ever played online was Street Fighter through MSN Messenger. And you did it rock, scissors, papers.
Well,
it was a little thing where you did one move,
that's not
boom,
fighting.
you waited for somebody else.
That
to do
wasn't
one move.
Street Fighter. That was the Matrix Online.
No,
I was doing it with RAF online. It was a little mod for the MSN where you could play games on there. And it was actually the only way it would work was if you had a move and then it was countered and then a move and then it was countered and that was the only way you could play it because there was no lag.
All I'm saying is just try again when your internet connection works because they actually do work these days.
Well, I have been trying and I just haven't found a game that everyone else plays.
Carcassonne.
Everybody got Carcassonne.
We'll play it.
I don't play it.
Well,
Shut up.
I sent you the email telling you it was free.
Hey, buddy. Over here.
Hey, you want to buy a letter O? Only cost you a nickel. A nickel? Shh.
That's the other reason why we can't watch Sesame Street with those kids anymore. The drug dealing vendors.
Some alphabet pushers.
Just a guy with a fedora and a trench coat going to Ernie going, hey, you want to buy a vowel? You want to buy a schwa?
Well, I know the count was a pimp.
The count was a pimp.
One little whore.
How many times do I have to slap you before I get my money? 1 slap, 2 slaps, 3 slaps.
Bert and Ernie were gay, I mean. It was
There was
the Cookie Monster was always looking for the hookup.
The New York Times article on that was actually pretty funny. Find it. I think it was linked off. the Slashdot article on that. But it was pretty hilarious.
I think Dave Chappelle had it down to a T when he was talking about it.
Well, the one that they had about the kids who are playing in the thing and they find a syringe in the playground.
Yeah.
That's not a dagger. That's a syringe. People use that to get high.
So thanks for bringing up this topic about nothing. Because we haven't answered anything. It's like, okay, well, Murdock
there's no answer
games.
There's no answer that won't be presented by you not taking some sort of psychotropic drugs. So really, moving on.
Yeah. Next up, we have our 1-minute game reviews, and I will be talking about Virtua Fighter 5, which is probably the best Virtua Fighter on a console.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, not ever. Soul Calibur 4 has not come out yet.
Well, why do you limit it to on a console?
Because that's what I play my fighting games on.
He never
you could
played
just
on
say
the
best
arcade.
ever.
Well,
Little hyperbole isn't going to kill anybody.
well, it's not the
No,
best
it's
ever
best
yet.
ever means you compare it to all other fighting games,
Yeah.
and you can't do
Well,
that.
you could say
It's
the
a
best
different type of
virtual
fighting
fighter game.
It is the best virtual
That I would
fighter
buy.
game.
Go with that.
They fixed the control issues and everything. You know how you had the floaty. When you would jump, you'd be like,
Yeah, it was
that.
like Mortal Kombat-ish.
Not anymore. Nice tight controls. You can pull off all the moves, and it's not dead or alive timing. And the AI is actually, forgiving. It's like, I'm not going to get my ass kicked all the time.
So, in other words, you're complaining that they're making Street Fighter 2 easier.
Okay.
But you
Not
want them
easier,
to make Virtua Fighter easier.
Okay, it's not easier difficulty level, it's easier control, and these types of people should not be playing those games.
You like getting your
Learn
ass
how
These
to do
kind
a
of
fireball.
people. Oh, these kind of people. You're a 2D fighter bigot.
Elitist.
I am a 2D fighter elitist. You know how long it took me to pull off a 360 with Zangief? Starting to sound like Brian. You know how long it took me to do a Dragon Punch?
Well spent.
Oh, yes. When I finally pulled off the Dragon Punch, I was so proud of myself.
And then
Dude, I
you
was
went,
doing it in the arcade.
and then you went to
That's
third
why I was
grade.
proud of that.
No, I went back to my college course.
And then you got done with lunch and went back to work.
Yeah. So, Virtua Fighter 5, as far as the game goes, very solid fighting game title. Now, Virtua Fighter is not a button masher. It is a game that takes a lot of skill and a lot of patience, and you cannot
More like
rush through it.
Karateka.
Well, no, it
has a learning curve like a fucking cliff.
Or karate.
Yeah.
Double joystick.
Yeah, get good real quick.
Or get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
Which is my experience with it. Just lose a lot until it got so boring, because, man.
The old controls are pretty crappy on it. I haven't tried the new one.
Now, here's the
You
thing.
just have to play the drunken
improve the
old guy.
controls.
The drunken old guy, you can totally, not know what you're doing, and you can kick his ass.
Actually, the control issues were the big thing, and they fixed a lot of it. So,
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, and the game is like $59 new, but I bought it for $49.
I always wanted to like that game. I just hated the controls.
If you're gonna play one, play the fifth one. That's probably the best in the series. I'll let you play around with it and see what you think.
Yeah.
But I'd say $39. It's definitely a solid fighting game title. But yeah, learning curve, real huge.
Speaking of the ratings thing, you see that apparently game reviews on ours now follow the rent, buy, or borrow
Yeah, they've been doing that
renting
for a while.
thing.
Or like avoid entirely.
Yeah, instead of doing the ratings number thing.
That's a pretty solid system.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Although I don't always agree with them, even so.
Well,
That's
when are you
kind
ever
of-
going to agree with everybody?
Yeah, that's kind of blatant.
Well, isn't rent, buy, borrow kind of like red light, yellow light, green light type thing?
Well, no, not really. I mean, it's all about, giving the people in the forums another thing to bitch about. I mean, they used to bitch about how their favorite game didn't get a 10, and now they bitch about how there's no numeric rating system. So,
yeah, I believe that was the one they just
Damned if you
posted
do,
for Rock
damned if you
Band. It
don't.
was the discussion. Oh, man.
Yeah, numbers make things easier.
yeah. Well, they let you avoid the review.
Yeah. Which, yeah. So
Why would you want to read that?
depends on who does the review. If it's someone in
I don't
the
even
new
remember
games
who-
journalism circle, be prepared to read a review for like 2 days. They're way too long, and they don't get to the point.
I've never had this problem.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if I've ever seen a review that was too long.
Yeah, me neither.
so next up we have Steve doing a review of Call of Duty 4.
It's not Gears,
Or Rainbow Six, I've heard.
which is kind of funny because, I mean, it's Call of Duty. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. There's a pretty established FPS gameplay here. And for some reason, people want it to be like Gears. Or
I
like
really
Rainbow
liked
Six.
1
It's
and
not
2
Gears
on
or
the PC.
Vegas.
I got to kick it. It
Well,
was a lot of fun.
It's
The
there's
gameplay has definitely changed.
there's tactics to it, but it's not a tactical
No, it's a run and gun
thing. You kind of run and gun, except you don't want to run and gun all the time because
No,
sometimes
no.
you run out into the street and they mow you down.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Dad.
Don't do that. And if you liked Call of Duty, you'll like this one. Graphics are really good.
Does it
got
have a lot of
gadgets.
brown and bloom in it?
Well, it is kind of brown in some places, but you're in the desert, so
Yeah.
sometimes
But
you're in Russia with the
no-
good Russians fighting the bad Russians.
No multiplayer, though.
Is there snow?
Well,
no co-op multiplayer.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, co-op, rather.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is
Multiplayer is definitely a huge part of the game.
Yep. And there's some places in there where you're like, wow, this is probably the most intense FPS firefight I've ever been in. Because you're like, holy shit, there's tracers everywhere.
Yeah, I remember playing in the demo, and I just...
Holy crap. You're in this huge firefight in a newsroom with people on 3 different levels shooting at you. You're like, oh crap, there's some like monitors. The environments are very destructible, and the walls and stuff are
It
actually
really gives you that sense of being
different.
stuck in some third world country and you're just trying to get out.
Well, depending on the walls, the materials the walls are made of, you can shoot through them and get people behind them.
Well, that's kind
Do
of
the
cool.
walls ever break?
Sometimes. They have persistent bullet holes and stuff like that.
That sounds like if the wall is like something that's specifically supposed to be broken, it'll break.
Yeah, I don't really notice because if it's breaking, I'm probably not behind it for very long. So, cars blow up when they get on fire, and then they make pretty good shields. I was going to say something. It's very immersive. Storyline's very good. Very depressing.
Yeah.
And
That's what war
ends
should be.
and ends one of the best endings I've ever seen for an FPS shooter.
Huh.
It's really cool. The end has a really neat little gameplay mechanism where you're like, well, that was really cool. So,
Cool.
That's a nifty teaser. I
Yep.
want to play it now.
yeah. And, I don't know. I paid $50 for it, $60 for it, something like that. It's worth it to me. I haven't played
Was it worth the whole thing?
yeah.
Well,
I haven't played a lot of the multiplayer yet, but it was fun when I was playing it. When I'm killing people named Mac Daddy. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is that the motion capture for like when people get shot or blown up, whatever, is brutal. Oh, it is. It looks like it hurts so much. I mean,
It's like Soldier of Fortune quality.
yeah, the ragdoll physics for stuff is really cool. Like people, if you're firing and somebody runs across the street at you and you shoot them in the leg, their momentum is where you hit their leg and they'll fly out from underneath them and they'll keep going and they'll tumble around. And if you,
Ragdoll physics.
and if you actually shoot a guy and you don't like get him in a headshot or like a center of mass shot, get him in the leg or something, he'll roll over, start crawling backwards, pull out a sidearm and start shooting at you to get away from you. I'm like going, whoa, that's crazy stuff right there.
That's realistic.
is it pretty bloody?
Yeah, the splatters on the backs of walls when you shoot some guy in the head. I mean, you can't tell that you shot the guy until it's like, poof, you see this big splatter on that. Oh, I think I got that guy.
Yeah.
People's hats fly off, their helmets fly off and stuff. It's pretty cool. Good death screams when you shoot somebody. Yeah.
Aye. So you got any review, Brian?
I got nothing.
So how is that game?
I don't know. Last time I played nothing, it was pretty dull.
I love the game of nothing.
I play it often.
And you have anything, John?
Nothing I beat recently. Just playing through Overlord right now, and it's been a good time, but I don't know that I played through enough of it to develop a review for it yet.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Super Mario Galaxy. I just haven't put enough time into it to really. Maybe next round.
Do you need someone to like gather like star bits for you or something like that?
No, I don't have that issue. I enjoy finding them on my own.
My star bits don't fall off, so I don't have to go look for them.
They remain attached.
They remain firmly attached to my personage.
I have my star bits dangling.
He's talking about his testicles.
I know. Yeah, I know about that. I saw his testicles on Xbox Live Arcade.
So that's why you don't play online anymore.
This is a dubiously valid.
So, are we done with the podcast, or do we have any other shenanigans we need to talk?
Oh yeah,
We're
got
done.
shenanigans.
Last
So
episode
it's plenty of shenanigans.
Last episode ever. We're all out of shenanigans.
So, no, you're going on vacation, Steve?
What? No.
Until our shenanigan meter refills.
I don't go on vacation until like the 21st of December. And then I'm gone for like 2 weeks.
Podcast 39.
Yeah, we'll have Angry Podcast 38 with Angry John. Doing
Like a
review
little
of
angry
Hitman.
tie in the mix.
Hitman had a really pretty trailer.
Yeah, that's what makes me think the movie's going to suck.
Well, yeah.
I do wonder how that stealthy assassin dude ever gets around with that huge-ass fucking barcode on the back of his head.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks of Big O. He's a tomato.
Maybe.
You know,
What was that video game movie that they got, what's his name, Newell, who did Chamber of Secrets to direct? They just announced it, and I was just talking to Walker about it like this last weekend.
Video
I have to look again.
Huh.
It's a video
the
game
only
movie.
game movie news I remember recently is the Kane and Lynch movie they're planning on.
No, I can't remember what it was.
There's
I'll
a
have to look
Gears
it
of
up.
War movie, too.
What?
I can't remember what it was.
Well, they made a movie out of Doom.
Well,
Hopefully it's not
it
another
was
Resident
Michael
Evil.
Bay was doing it, was directing it, and then they got rid of him, and they put in this guy.
Good for them.
Well,
I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, not like Michael Bay is. Yeah, never mind. I don't want. Don't get me started on Transformers. All right, well that's it for the podcast.
It was a great love story.
Yeah. What? Love story with.
Oh, and it had some robots in it, too.
Oh,
And Allspice.
Allspice, yeah. Isn't that like a UK singer?
Yeah, sure.
all right.
You're the one that asked us to do this podcast. No shaking your head now.
There's no going back, buddy.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.